Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please put on your prayer chute and prepare for jump.
It's Mercury retrograde. That means it's time for our Soulmart.me Mercury retrograde sale. Like a 1-hour reading with Christopher Witecki, normally $159, retrogrades back to $95.10. Or try a 15-minute psychic look reading with Zen Shoemaker. She retrogrades down to $45 for a 15-minute reading. Or try the Act 3 Orbits Report. And the Jupiter Gets Emotional retrogrades the same to 1111. At Soulmart.me, mind, body, and soul improvement.
Soul Garden.
Namaste, and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Edition. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Witecki, your astrologer and soul biographer, here to help you put the pieces of your soul story together. And before we dive into your horoscope, I just want to give some gratitude to all those who have donated to soulgarden.tv in the last week. Thank you so much. And for those people who have purchased readings as well. We are continuing the sale. It has helped our situation, and we are very grateful. Also, this is a special horoscope designed to cover the entire 10-day period of before and after the solar eclipse that's coming up, and I'll be talking about that. So this is a special soul horoscope designed to help you through this quantum intention time. So the sun is in sexy Scorpio. We are working on our intimacy, our boundaries, our transformation, and we're working on committing to infinity. That's how serious Scorpios take it. We're going to deal with our core boundaries, and a solar eclipse is going to give us a quantum shift on November 3rd. Now, the moon signs most affected from the eclipse on are Scorpio in the eclipse, then Sag, Capricorn's very affected, and Aquarius is at the end of the week. The moon signs most affected by this, of course, are going to be the Tauruses and Scorpios, Sag and Geminis, Capricorns and Cancers, and Aquarius and Leos. But the orange ones are the moon signs that might go into depression or the dark side based on the fact that it's the anti-sign right now. Now, looking at orbits, man, I want to point out what the solar eclipse is going to do to our chakras. You may not know this, but Scorpio actually rules two chakras, the back of the throat and the front of the solar plexus there. The orange chakra works with Taurus, and that's what gives Scorpio the ability to rule the number 0 and complete a boundary around the soul. So this particular eclipse is going to be a tug-of-war in some senses because of the Earth is going to be located in Taurus, and the sun and moon, of course, in Scorpio. So this really is the creation and death transit, and a very powerful one. And each of your horoscopes, I'll be talking about how you can have some quantum creation in this solar eclipse. Now, looking at the planets, the most compelling thing to me is this Yod, which is a big part of the build-up to the solar eclipse. It's basically God giving us the finger, sacred geometry here, pointing to Uranus to innovate our egos. So in your horoscopes, I'll be talking about how you want to channel these other two parts of yourself, the new boundaries and your aggression, into the evolution of your ego and the evolution of how you act or react in society. Now, this square is still also happening, and it's important for you to know that because the Yod is being affected by the square, which means part of the innovation deals with you have to innovate or revolutionize the rules you subscribe to. And then finally, this black Lilith Grand Trine really reaches its most apex important point. We've been having this trine for weeks. This is our emotional healing underneath the seams of what we're seeing on top of our realities. And ultimately, because of the solar eclipse hitting one corner of the trine, you're going to see this issue carry out in the rest of your life. And I'll be talking about that in the horoscopes as well. Another thing I want to point out, which is really groovy, is actually this. Venus is entering and now conjuncting the galactic center this week. This is where the sun had conjuncted for the Mayan shift, etc. So this means we're going to start sensing some real high cosmic vibrations coming down from the heavens. Another interesting thing here, this is the party, Mercury, Saturn, and the sun in Scorpio. But actually, this whole eclipse is happening in the constellation of Ophiuchus. You've probably heard before that there's a 13th constellation. Well, kind of not so much true. The truth is, this is Ophiuchus here, and this is the Scorpio constellation. But it's not that there's a 13th constellation. It's that they used in the sky one little marker to represent the whole box of Scorpio. And so some astronomers who don't understand astrology assume that because there's extra space there, that we can just fit another constellation there in our zodiac. But the truth is that Scorpio rules the whole quadrant. It's just that Scorpio, in a very hiding way, is hiding in the corner. And that's part of actually the mythology of Scorpio, is that the constellation is, of course, hiding in the Scorpio den, waiting for some victim to fall in there, right? Maybe Ophiuchus. All right, well, that's all I have for now. Let's take the ascension elevator up and see what's going on with you.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We realize you have a choice in the astrologers you choose to fly with, and we'd just like to thank you for flying with Christopher Witecki.
Hello, my magicians, my God service providers, or wizards, however you want to look at it. Whatever you are, you're a Pisces, or you're a Pisces rising, and thanks for logging in at 33,000 feet. Well, since I've been off the air for just a few days, my apologies. The Mercury retrograde certainly did take me off the air for a minute, some technology issues and other things. But I am back now, and I'm here to talk you through the solar eclipse that we have coming up. We're going to have a major transition here, and we are changing who we are, big time. And for Pisces and Pisces risings, this change of who you are really has the trajectory of you're going to be transplanted or transferred to a new assignment. Remember, Pisces are God's service providers, and with Pluto now exiting chapter 1 of Capricorn, I predict that the Pisces are really preparing right now this fall for a whole new voyage somewhere else. This is different people, different friends, different associations, perhaps people from past lives still indeed, but a new group. And this is really, for many Pisces, between the Pisces A life and the Pisces B life, which is what I always talk about in a reading with Pisces. So with Saturn in Scorpio and the Sun in Scorpio, this is a time where the Pisces and Pisces risings are basically leaping out of your first belief structure. In other words, if you have an A life and a B life, you now are going to hop into the B life's belief structure, and right now you're getting out of the A life's belief structure. And it doesn't really matter what your age is as a Pisces. We tend to upgrade the whole race at the same time. So if you're like 96, it took you this long. It's okay. And if you're 16, you've got a lot ahead of you. You'll still live to 96. So don't go that way. So as we move this week, we're actually wrapping up chapter 1 of the Sun in Scorpio, which is basically your beliefs, your heartfelt facts. And a belief is something your heart agrees with. That's what a belief is. And so a lot of things we are told, but our heart's like, I don't really believe that. And that's not our belief. And that's what we have to pull out. So you are auditing your belief structure. This week, we're going to actually move from step 8 in the beginning all the way by the end of this video to step 16. So this video is being released just before the solar eclipse, and it covers the whole period. Now, Mercury is retrograding the whole time, moving backwards as we're moving forward. And Mercury has already conjunct Saturn at this point, so people are already reconsidering some deep decisions. In your case, making a decision to get the hell out of Oz or to get the hell out of wherever you're stuck, as far as belief structure or self-limiting beliefs. This could also be people getting out of sort of mind games, or also people literally trying to get into another country or leave where you are currently living. Now, in the state of Cancer, which is your personal dreams and where your heart is with this whole thing, Jupiter is actually going to retrograde here coming up in this horoscope. So the push for personal dreams is going to take a break, but Black Lilith is going to run over Jupiter. In fact, Black Lilith crosses Jupiter on November 27th. So what this really ultimately means is as your dreams actually take a standstill or take a moment off, you begin to continue, you still move forward with your healing, and you still move forward with projecting where things may go. In fact, it's going to be very interesting to see how it feels past once Black Lilith gets past Jupiter. And for you, this is, again, the pause, 6 months pause of personal dreams moving forward. You've got things to take care of now. And in that place, though, your courage about dreams, which is Black Lilith now at this point, is still forging ahead, even though dreams themselves aren't. So I think it's going to be a high Neptune time of dreaming for Pisces and Pisces risings because of that particular thing. So looking at the first week here leading up to the solar eclipse, and that's when this video came out, the important thing to note really is the stop sign on Thursday. On Thursday, you're making a decision as to what your self-limiting beliefs are. So what's self-limiting? These are beliefs that you don't really believe in. These are beliefs that your heart doesn't really agree with. These are beliefs that your parents told you to believe, or your church told you to believe, or whatever, and you've been playing along as a good girl or a good boy, but at the end of the day, your heart doesn't really believe in it. Now, the danger in that is if you don't necessarily have beliefs in operation that you believe in, then you are dimming your power, okay? And because Scorpio energy is the energy that Pisces use to basically define their final boundaries, beliefs for Pisces are the final line. They are the final boundary. So you cannot have sloppy code, so to speak, on the hard drive. And this is the example I use for Aquarius, where I was like, you got to go out and find all your virus software, which is all the software on your belief structure in your hard drive that basically you're like, no comprende, I don't really believe in this. This is like foreign. This is like sending information to my church every day about me, but it's not who I am. So on Thursday, you must make a decision about who you are not or what you do not believe in. On Friday, you're taking action and moving forward with whatever that belief is and saying, okay, let's go. The moon is in Libra, so you're very sensitive on Thursday and Friday. These might be very delicate, sensitive decisions. And then on Saturday, the moon moves from Libra into Scorpio, so it's kind of a murky Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But on Saturday, we're actually loving and trusting that you can move into the new belief structure. You can move into the new operating system. That you might be now code-free or whatever. What's the word? Virus-free. Code virus-free. Mind you, Mercury's retrograde the whole time. So when Mercury's retrograde, it's kind of like we're not only questioning the natural transit, which is where we're going forward, but when Mercury's retrograde, we're also going, and what is religion anyways? You're like questioning the basis of it as you're moving forward with a new change. So it gives you the opportunity to completely unplug yourself and put yourself into a new belief structure outlet, so to speak. But at the same time, the transition of it might feel extremely unsteady and extremely like, where the hell are we? I feel lost. And that's where you really have to log into your higher self and do what Pisces do best, which is God's service provide for yourself, right? To log in and go, and let your senses do the walking, so to speak. So moving to the actual eclipse and through the eclipse itself, like Cast Day, the eclipse actually happens on November 3rd. This is going to be a pretty profound moment because this is an apex of a lot of stories happening and coming together. At the end of the day, it's a light cast day, so it's the sun and moon, our emotions coming together at 11 degrees. So what this means is you're going to find new integrity. This integrity is that you are free from the old belief structure, and at the same time, you don't necessarily know where you're going, but you're creating a new fundamental basis based on freedom. So it's like, okay, I am free from my old self-limiting beliefs. That's what the light cast day is for you. That's what the solar eclipse is for you. And because it's a solar eclipse, it's like a double whammy in that sense. This literally will stick. This solar eclipse is kind of like God slapping you on your back. If you say you're a Protestant at that hour, you're going to be a Protestant for a while anyways, okay? But I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. You're not going to necessarily be trapped, but because of the nature of Pisces energy, you kind of have to pay attention, to you have to define yourself to some degree so you can operate. That's part of the reason why you haven't been able to operate and you haven't been able to manifest has been quite simply because you have been all over the map with what you really believe. Now, looking up at Pluto at 9 degrees up here, this is the PowerPoint that's saying, hey, Pisces are migrating. 9 degrees is a migration degree. This is in your house of society. So you guys are on your way to some sort of new land, new castle, new place in the world, and that's why you're changing religions, so to speak. Neptune, your home planet, is still retrograde, but is going direct in November, and it is still focused on your ego and listening to your feelings. So listen to your feelings. Uranus is the part of you struggling with money right now, but it's also retrograde, and this is a key part of the yod that I talked about in the open. You have to be flexible about how you are valuable. Be flexible about how you are valuable. That is vital and key for this whole yod. And the yod and God universe with the yod is saying that. Now this whole pile-up, this football pile-up is going to happen, of course, in Saturn and Scorpio. And it actually is pretty crazy because it breaks, the beginning of the week starts off at 13 degrees, and we have the eclipse in 13 degrees, right? So that is a Uranus ruled degree. It's a very powerful degree. It means things are going to happen. But then, like, just on Tuesday, it goes to 14 degrees, okay? So right away, it's like we have the eclipse and boom, we're into a whole new story here. And of course, on Lightcast Day, Jupiter's at 20 degrees. And so as far as the personal story of your dreams and where your heart wants to go, it's like hitting a high note on Lightcast Day on the solar eclipse. So your heart is singing. Make sure your heart is online and that your heart's voice, so to speak, is in that whole sort of liberation of your old belief structure and a new day for you, Pisces or Pisces rising. And for Pisces rising, this is probably very legitimate too. One thing to point out, Jupiter goes retrograde on Thursday. So the interesting thing about that is that like it too like hits that high note and it's like, okay, we're done, off stage everybody, let's go. It's kind of interesting stuff. So you can really see that this eclipse is truly the climactic point of 2013, frankly. And by you drawing these lines and hopping out of this belief structure, you're freeing up all these other parts of yourself to do things. So the one other day that I want to point out here is this Tuesday, which is quite nuclear. This is going to have a double, like a triple whammy. It's like 3 lightning bolts of Uranus energy. So it's almost 2 days later. So we have Lightcast Day on Sunday, and we heal ourselves. Monday, it's like you're expanding, feeling good. Tuesday, something happens on Tuesday. We all see the world in different colors between Tuesday and Wednesday when the light bulb goes off. Thursday, you feel free like a butterfly. And then on Friday, you're receiving and downloading instructions from God, universe. And then boom, time to decide again. And so by the end of this week, of this whole horoscope here, after this Lightcast Day, after setting your intentions to new reality, you're actually on Saturday starting to decide what it is you do believe in. So in just the time of I want freedom, and a week later you're already at, and I think this is what it's going to be. I think I believe in this. And so from that Saturday you start to explore your beliefs. Now realize, again, a Pisces defines himself through their beliefs. So once you define yourself in your beliefs, money, job, location, friends, family, all these things will open up for you, lickety-split, no problem. And I think that's good to know, don't you think? I think so too. So we have to prepare to jump here, and you know how this works, but I will see you down at the bottom, and I have a new Serious Joy toy for you, my Pisces friend, after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please put on your prayer chute and prepare for jump.
It's Mercury retrograde. That means it's time for our Soulmart.me Mercury retrograde sale. Like a 1-hour reading with Christopher Witecki, normally $159, retrogrades back to $95.10. Or try a 15-minute psychic look reading with Zen Shoemaker. She retrogrades down to $45 for a 15-minute reading. Or try the Act 3 Orbits Report. And the Jupiter Gets Emotional retrogrades the same to 1111. At Soulmart.me, mind, body, and soul improvement.
Hello Pisces, welcome back. Thank you. I hope you had a good jump and things landed okay. So this is our Serious Joy toy. You know, this is where I give you a little imaginary game to play in your head in order to get you through the week. Something just to kind of keep you kind of innocent in that regard. And this week we're moving into a whole new thing. Now remember, I was talking about how Pisces define themselves through their beliefs. So anytime you hit a wall this week, a glass wall, where it's like you want to do something, like you want to be able to get undressed and get into the hot tub, but the rules are you can't, or something like that. When you hit a glass wall, I want you to shatter that glass wall and swim onward. I'm not saying break the rules, but I am saying at least imagine those rules being gone real soon. So you want to just not let yourself be bound this week by any glass walls, by any false beliefs. And if you can't literally live beyond the glass wall, then go ahead and think about what it's going to be like when you actually do. That's a wall you're going to want to bring down in the solar eclipse. And then secondly, for the solar eclipse, a second kind of part B for your Serious Joy toy right away, I want you to, on the solar eclipse, temporarily subscribe to a temporary religion. A temporary religion. So I call it a religion, because you're going to religion all the fishies to a new place. So you got to circle up all your little fishies all these different parts of yourself that are swimming in different ways, which is what Pisces and Pisces risings are like, thousands of personalities, which, by the way, are all guppies from past lives, in my opinion. But that said, you need to subscribe to a temporary, and I want to underscore temporary. So you're a temporary Catholic, you're a temporary Buddhist, you're a temporary Jew, whatever it is for you. But the thing is you need to have solidarity, but you also need to have flexibility. So consider it a temporary fishnet religion for the week moving forward in this transitional period. And we'll talk more about that, of course, later when I come back next week. Well, thanks, everyone. I look forward to seeing you in 7 days. I will be there with you powerfully in meditation and spirit. Don't forget about the SG Manifestation Temple, which is located at soulgarden.me. You can put your manifestation intention in that temple, and I will personally be blessing it myself at some point. So it's all about group manifestation. Until next week, have a blessed time, and live, love, be.
Soulgarden.tv.
Live, love, be was my phrase, man. I told him when I was in prison.
In prison?
Well, the fucking establishment, man. The state of California, it's all Nixon run, man. I was in for 25 years.
For medicinal marijuana?
It wasn't medicinal back then, man. They considered it a crime. Welcome to the establishment, kids. For my sacrifice, you can now smoke it up anytime you want. I did the time. You can do the crime.